All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, Episode 9. All right, we've met Todo and Mai.
Indeed,
yes.
indeed.
And Todo, he be thick.
He thick, but not quite as thick as Panda.
Yes, nothing is as thick as Panda.
But he does have some
thick.
Excellent taste with regards to ramen.
Yes, of the thick kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And apparently he respects Panda enough to be like, oh, I see, you're here. Well, fine. We were leaving anyways.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But poor Fushiguro, he's just been getting thrashed so much in the last few episodes. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You keep on trucking along, dude. You're gonna get stronger. But all right, on the villain side of things, though, Mahito, yeah, Mr. Frankenstein's monster, is doing something out by the theater.
Yeah, he killed a bunch of people, and then there was a kid that confronted him about it,
or just bumped into him.
Yeah,
and that wasn't resolved, so that needs to be resolved. But then also, Yuji's training with Kira Yoshikage, and
basically
with glasses, and
that takes them to
the theater.
So how's that gonna go?
Right.
Yeah. I hope that kid's okay.
Yeah. Y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
That's a way to start an episode.
Oh, this is the kid. This is the kid that was in the alley.
Yeah.
Yoshino. Oh, wait, no, that was the girl.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, he pushed it immediately. Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Oh. 1,800 yen.
Damn.
Oh, there goes
You know,
Mahito.
the fact that she was taking so long to get him his ticket might have saved his life.
Might have saved his life, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, shit. Wow.
What?
Wait a
Wait, shit. Wait.
Hold on.
The button was essentially pressed,
But
you did not want this.
yeah, and it really...
What is happening? Monster.
And he's actually chasing him down.
Okay, now we're back here. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and we finally get the OP. Wow, what a setup, though.
Yeah.
So we've got a kid who's been dealing with bullies, basically.
Going through his own dark stuff, and then he's like, hey, that actually seems pretty cool. Which makes sense why I wasn't scared of it,
why did Mahito go and kill them?
That is what I'm wondering, because it almost seemed like it was tied to his own negative feelings that he was sending out about them.
Yeah, exactly. It was like he was incarnated in some way.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Still don't know how to do that. Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
No.
I am balance. Yeah. Emotion. I love this guy.
Yep,
Moderation. No, you probably never will, but that's okay. What's his name? Nanami Kento, the ex-salaryman. Yes.
Nice.
呪術師って変なやつ多いけど、こいつは会社勤めてただけあってしっかりしてんだよね。
Okay.
旧呪術師だし。
私が高専で学び気づいたことは、呪術師はクソということ。
Oh. Wait, so he studied at Jujutsu High, but he still became a salaryman.
労働はクソということです。
そうなの
Wait.
I love it.
より適性のある方を出戻った理由なんてそんな
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
虎杖君、私と五条さんが同じ考えとは思わない。
But this music.
Yeah,
I
it's so
can't.
quirky.
It's so good.
信頼している。でも尊敬はしてません。
Ah.
I mean, that just means you have a good head on your shoulders.
私はあくまで規定側です。話が長くなりましたね。
You're making it drag on.
私
Yeah.
もあなたを術師として認めていない。スクナという爆弾を抱えていても、己は有用であるとそう示すことに尽力してください。
Well said.
言われなくても認めさせてやっからさ。もうちょい待っててよ。
Ah, such boundless
い
optimism.
え、私ではなく上に行ってください。
はい。
ぶっちゃけ私はどうでもいい。
はいはい。
Of all the shticks, like I did not
Yep.
expect that.
まあ、
Is that
そうです
freaking?
Wait,
That was
seriously?
a Haikyuu reference. They took. Wow.
That's creepy.
こちらは私が片付けます。虎杖君はそちらのもう一体を。
The other one you missed.
No. No.
勝てないと判断したら呼んでください。
Ah, please call
じゃ
me.
ない俺のことを。
舐める舐めないの話ではありません。私は大人で君は子供。
He loosens up, but he doesn't take any of it off.
Right, yeah.
君はいくつか視線を超えてきた。でもそれで大人になったわけじゃない。
Oh,
枕も
oh shit, he's got a blade.
お気に入りの惣菜パンがコンビニから姿を消したりそういう小さな絶望の積み重ねが人を大人にするのです。
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
It's like being an adult is shit. So,
But you can't avoid it.
yeah, I'll just soldier on.
Yeah. He walks a lonely road.
The only one that he's ever known.
私の術式はどんな相手にも強制的
Oh,
に弱点を
Counterpoint, Jacob.
Yeah.
私より格上の者にもそれなりのダメージを与えることができますし呪力の弱いものであればこの生蔵でも両断できます。
Wait, so
Okay.
so he's not even gonna take the bandages off of that blade
No, I don't think so.
because he doesn't need to.
Nice.
Oh my god,
I love it. That's great.
メリットは
I can't multitask.
手の内を晒すという縛りが術式効果を底上げする。
Oh, really?
Nice.
Nice.
I like it.
Ah, yes. See the eyes through the shades. Oh,
That's so cool.
oh.
I love it.
Just a salaryman with a blade. No, the blood. None of the blood hits my suit.
Yep.
Yep.
私から
But
は
it sure as hell hits the camera.
虎杖君後ろ。
Yeah, yeah. Stop listening to me. You should. Wow. So he's so fast. He doesn't even need to worry about looking at it.
し
Yeah.
ませんね。
I love this. This is like the awkward uncle trying to tell him the ways of the world.
Right.
Before you become an adult. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
ユージの瞬発力に呪力
Oh
が
my
追いついて
god,
るな
Gojo,
Wow.
you
呪力を
you
伴う技術も
icon.
短い
Yeah.
奇跡に残りがちそれが逆に変則的な呪力
I
の
wonder if that has to do with Sukuna, though.
拳が当たったと認識した直後に呪力がぶつかってくるつまり一度の打撃に二度のインパクトが生まれる
Oh
Okay.
wow, yeah.
Automatic double tap.
Whoa. Oh my god.
All right. Okay.
Incendiary punches.
I love how rough the
Hell
black
yeah.
and blue is.
これは大きな武器になる
Yeah, people will be like, was that it? Was that all you got? And then boom, the second hit.
100% の体術に 100% の呪力を乗せられるようになれば
He'll be a monster.
Yeah.
あの人が連れてきただけあるわけだ。 失礼。今とどめを。
Oh, pardon me. Wait, why does it have a watch?
とどめは待ってください。
Oh,
私の相手を撮
shit.
影しました。
呪霊ってこういうの映んないんじゃ。
Oh, shit.
Oh no. These are people.
私たちが戦っていたのは
Fuck.
人間だよ。いや、元人間と言った方がいいかな。
So this is what Mahito does? Is he transforms them?
Yeah.
そ
Wow.
れだけなら初めに気づけますよ。私たちが戦った二人には
Oh,
重力がみなぎ
okay, okay.
ただ
Damn.
脳
So
幹
they
の
get
あたりにいじ
infused
られた
too.
形跡がある。おそらく意識障害、錯乱状態を作り出すためだろう。
Wow.
Shit, so they've done this a lot. Get so specific.
こいつらの死因はざっくり言うと、体を改造させられたことによ
So
るショ
don't
ック
worry.
死だ。
Yeah.
君が殺し
Yeah,
たんじ
you
ゃない
didn't kill them. Right,
その
right.
あたり履き違えるなよ。
Cool.
はい。
That was sweet. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a leave the room kind of you're here or like a you're dumb, so here's the explanation. It's this.
相当なやり手です。これはそこそこでは済みそうにない。
More than moderate effort is
決まってい
required.
きましょう。
All right. I like it.
おう
Are those his experiments? Oh,
大地を森を海を恐れてきた。それらに向けられた呪力は大きすぎるがゆえに形を得る前に知恵をつけ今まで生き
oh
て
shit! These are
Wait.
primal beings.
That one of those looked very similar to Cthulhu.
真人さんは
Well, the other two we'd seen before.
I'm human.
人間。
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
俺は
Yep.
人が人を憎み恐れた腹から
So maybe he could feel a bit of his hatred towards those guys.
Oh shit.
私は調査を続けますので、虎杖君には。
Yeah, this is actually where it gets slower probably because
映画館にいた少年
yeah.
吉野純平。
Need you to find him.
彼は被害者と同じ高校の同級生だそうです。手順は伊地知君に任せてあるので、二人で吉野純平の調査をお願いします。
Okay, okay. So
いいよ俺。伊地知さん以外の補助の人知らねえよ。
Bringing that up.
I'm quite put upon.
って知ってるの私だけです。
Yeah.
Yes, makes
必然
sense.
的に
Okay, now you got him safe. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
ある程度ではなくもう分かっているんですよ
Wow.
犯人の居場所。
Wow. Yeah.
もちろん、犯人はその気になれば残影なんて残さずに現場を立ち去れるはず
Oh,
です。
it's bait.
単身乗り込むリスクと虎杖君を連れて行くリスク、前者を選んだまでです。
Wow.
彼はまだ子供ですから。
But I mean, if it's a trap, wouldn't you want someone else?
What? What?
虎杖君
言い忘れてた。気をつけてね。
Wow.
虎杖君。
Wow, that's way too close. I guess you're carrying something. Wait. Oh shit.
To
test.
see if he can see them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Have like a cage with invisible, stuff in it. See if it triggers anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we got a lot of world building though, and then we ended up
did.
kind of having a little bit of explanation cleared up regarding like what kind of stuff ends up manifesting, curses and stuff.
なーなみ、お出かけしよ
いえ、遠慮します。
う。いや、マジで大事な話があるんだって。
それは大変だ。
まだ何も言ってないよ。
Wow.
I am the one that knocks.
Oh my god.
All that just to be like, hey,
love it.
here's a dick. Would you like
Yep.
to
Just to mess with him.
just to mess with him?
It's like, yes, but here's a penis.
All right, well,
Okay,
Gojo,
well.
you're hilarious, you're wonderful, but I have to say, Nanami, you're
You are
swiftly becoming one of my favorite
yes,
characters in the show.
same.
Because
Yeah.
he gives me big Kira Yoshikage vibes, but if he was just
without the hands.
You know, didn't desire to kill people or
right,
you know,
exactly.
lick their hands or something.
Yep. And it's wonderful. It's amazing. He's so fantastic. The way he draws the distinctions of like, oh yeah,
I'm okay with this, but I hate how this goes.
I trust you, but I do not respect you.
Do not respect.
Like he is the ultimate straight man to every character in this show.
Every character.
Like, because he is just perfectly balanced, as all things should be, right?
And yet he lies to protect the young ones.
Yeah.
Because there is a distinction made between kids and adults.
Right.
And adults have to deal with these little sufferings, as he called it.
Yep. Because that's how you become an adult.
But that's how you become an adult.
And your convenience store stops having the stuffed bread you like. And...
Right. Now, what I love about this is what he represents, I think, is an example of someone that's in the middle of where Gojo hates the higher-ups, you know? But also the dumb kids who are just kind of goofing around and don't really know what's going on. He is balanced. He literally operates in the middle of this, and his character shtick of, I don't go into extremes. That's not who I am.
Right.
Fits that perfectly. But they're also showing major, like, death flags for this guy. Like, almost immediately saying
by
things
himself
about how,
into a big trap.
Yep. How he'll put the lives of, like, a young one before him. Like,
and I don't want him to die. He's so
he just got introduced.
He's great.
Like, I cannot help but worry for the guy. The only reason why I think he's going to make it, though, is because design is too dang cool.
Yeah,
and
you don't just get rid of a character
well.
like this. Like, now, granted, he did say he was going alone, but, like, you could, like, put in a message to be like, hey, there's this thing I'm going to be doing. You know, if anyone wants to come back me up, I'm pretty sure it's a trap. You know?
Right. I think the reason why we're seeing a lot of confidence from him, though, is he's graduated from school and all that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He's not some student who's like...
Nope, he's a pro.
Like, yeah, he is a professional. And he gets called by Gojo.
Which is... That's some high praise right there.
You may not respect Gojo, but Gojo, he respecteth you.
Exactly.
So that means something.
Gojo's definition of respect is maybe a bit different than yours.
It might just be that he wants to have his best buddy who he can troll constantly, who won't make him fight him or something like that.
Right. But this is good to have because, like, one of the reasons why I didn't fully buy right out the gate that Gojo was like the greatest Jujutsu sorcerer out there until we got it fully displayed is because he was the first main Jujutsu sorcerer that we really saw, right?
Yep.
Like non-student.
We had
no
comparison.
No comparison, right?
Yep.
So then we find out, oh, he is the strongest. It's like, okay, all right, that's good. That was awesome. You know, getting to see him
into the infinite void.
Right, exactly.
Oh shit. Okay, well.
But now let's get something a little bit closer to garden variety, homegrown, vanilla Jujutsu sorcerer that's a pro and isn't some chump, but at the same time is not the ultimate power ceiling of the show.
No.
So
it makes it so the stakes are higher for when Yuji goes out for these kinds of things, but it also showcases that Gojo is not like a lone wolf, really. He has allies and friends, sort of, because
people that put up with him, you know?
People that put up with him. And to be fair, a lot of it might just be, well, when the strongest sorcerer in the world says, I need your help with something, you say yes.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. This guy might not. Like, no.
Now, he gave a little bit of his reasoning in that he's very all about the idea of keeping the bomb that is Sukuna, you know, kind of under wraps. And I like that there's this feeling of, yeah, sure, there's some money being exchanged behind the scenes, basically, here, where this guy's, yeah, he's a merc, basically. He got brought in, and he's like, yeah, I'll do your job. Whatever. Totally. Right. Secrecy? Yeah, no problem, dude. You know me. I'm a stickler for the rules.
I am consummate professional.
Consummate professional. Absolutely. Great way to
Which, by the way, I gotta say, as far as a character shtick, the idea of him being an ex-salaryman, I was so on board with that in general from the get-go. But the idea that he went to Jujutsu High was like,
Y'all are bullshit.
Y'all are bullshit and awful, and it sucks here, right? He's like, I'm gonna go into the workforce.
Yes, I'm gonna become a corporate man.
Right, like the idea that someone is like, supernatural world, crazy powers, and all that stuff. Nah.
You ain't shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave and go to the corporate world.
And does pretty well there, but then finds out. Nah,
it's its own version of bad.
Right.
You know what I think you're just coming to the realization, Nanami, is that people are awful. Like, it's not anything to do with those environments. It's the fact that people are in those environments, and you probably have a certain level of bullshit tolerance that you'd be surprised, buddy. But that's one of your little sufferings that you just have to put up with because
it's part of being an adult.
Part of being an adult is learning how to deal with people. So
and I love I love the idea that in a lot of ways, like, okay, I don't know, like he is almost like a metronome, but in the best way.
Yeah.
Right?
I got you.
And
totally.
And yeah, the fact that he partners up with Gojo
makes it even better.
Makes it even better from a comedic standpoint.
Gojo can't keep a beat to save his life.
Oh yeah,
unless he's banging out I don't know. So
yeah, no, I mean Gojo has his own rhythm, you know, and it's wonderful, but
it's like I am the best, yeah.
Basically, with some dance moves in there.
Yeah,
but
we'll call those dance moves.
Yeah. But I like to think, and maybe this is just the shipper side of me, and I'm sure that there must be so much fan fiction for these two characters, but that maybe there's that acknowledgement of, okay, I like systems, I like order, I like knowing that everything has a place, right?
Sure.
And yet, you know, does a bit more than put up with Gojo. You know, Gojo's like I don't know. I'm very excited to see these two characters interact more. What can I say?
You see, we got to see Gojo's eyes, and now we're just like, now no one is safe.
Well,
if this is what he's packing, then like there's no one who could resist those.
At what point, maybe behind closed doors, do they both reveal their eyes?
Oh my god. So, on a serious note, we got a metric ton of exposition this episode.
We did.
Probably a bit too much, I would say. There's a lot of it that was packaged with the way it was delivered in these scenes where you could tell they're like, here you go. Here's something else to look at. Like, here's, Gojo just, chilling, relaxing in his little, like,
designer shirt
outfit.
and stuff.
Yeah, designer shirt and everything.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
no worries. I'm too sexy.
Yeah, and a lot of it I'll have to kind of go back and double check to make sure we're keeping on track of things there, because a lot of it was related to how cursed techniques work.
Yes.
But on the other side of things, there was this other bit surrounding how curses work. And that's where things got a little bit wonky here.
Because they've been and now officially, because Mahito confirmed that he is a human, right?
Yep.
They're blurring the line between humans and curses.
A lot.
So then when do they blur the line between Jujutsu sorcerers and curses? Because Jujutsu sorcerers are humans, so
that use cursed energy.
Right. So
what's the difference between cursed energy and a curse, right?
Almost feels kind of arbitrary if you think about it. But yeah.
In some ways, I think we're just getting the mechanics of how the world continues to have curses and curse users, aka Jujutsu sorcerers or something like that, is that if a Jujutsu sorcerer probably loses control too much of like a cursed ability or technique when they channel too much cursed energy, they could probably just lose themselves in some way.
And that's kind of what it feels like these humans that got all the cursed energy put into them and were modified and all that stuff, what they kind of were is that it's the person whose body isn't able to fully adapt in order to handle in a healthy way the cursed energy that they are able to then wield, right? And then as a result of that, it messes with them.
The main thing is that Mahito changed them physically.
Yes.
At a specific and general level. Right. There was stuff mentioned that was messing with the brainstem, which is apparently a science-y thing of, it's cursed energy.
Yep.
brain. There's a thing. There's a connection.
We don't fully understand it. Yeah.
I think the limited bit that they're having here is that they're dealing with stuff that is emotional, like fear, for instance. And they're saying that the fear of, say, the environment, like fear of forests, for instance, has over the eons of time propagated a curse that could be made manifest and gain intelligence and all these things. And that's literally one of, I believe.
That's what Jogo was, the Earth problem.
Yeah, it literally looked like
volcanoes. Yeah,
it literally looked like Jogo. Yeah. So
and then there was some Cthulhu looking one.
It was
probably
for
the ocean.
But the weird thing for me is that the other one, the third one, looked exactly like the special grade curse that was used to test Yuji and Sukuna.
Right. The only
just
difference,
had things sprouting from its eyes that looked like tree branches.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that will play out. But that is something where, like, it's we got, like you said, we got a ton of information this episode, and as far as a way to give it to us and a time to give it to us, I feel like this is the right time because, one, we're gearing up for a tournament. We don't know how the world works and how the powers work and things like that. It'll be a lot harder to track with the mechanics of what people are doing so that way the conflict can have satisfying resolutions.
I agree, but this arc, if you will, seems to be focused on
the bad guys, right?
The bad guys, and specifically Mahito being one who comes in as a human.
Right.
And just lives a normal human life. Humans can see him, no problem. Except maybe not all humans can.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because I believe in the previous episode, Mahito was like, "Oh, you can see me."
Yeah, so maybe
when they were in the alleyway together,
right? Which would make sense then. Why maybe they didn't know who truly did it because he didn't show up on the cameras. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "Wow, you can see me."
Right. So he's that's a whole complicated thing. But yeah, but that's the other side where the exposition is really helpful to get into. Who are the major antagonists in this series, right? We have Sukuna, and we know him pretty well, but there's a bunch of other figures.
He's a personal villain for Yuji, and for the higher-ups kind of worrying about, him getting too much power. But the one thing about Mahito that we got here that's crazy, is that he is apparently the manifestation of humans' fear and hatred towards each other.
Yeah, So I just wanted to bring this up because the theater thing is still boggling me a little bit. Because it did seem like he was responding to Yoshino's negative thoughts and emotions.
Is his name Yoshino?
I believe so.
Well, okay, I'm a little bit confused. I'll go back and check for the name for him. But the big thing is that when he shows up, they were just about to make a call on the phone, right?
Or no,
they were on the phone at that moment.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure we can get the whole thing there. Yeah, he would push the button to kill them all. And she's no good anymore. You want to let us bang her doll? Hey, what's up? And then this is what happens.
He's thinking, turn off your phone.
Right. And he's probably thinking, why wouldn't you just shut up and die or just be quiet or something like that? While the life imitates art kind of thing happens in the background. I love when media does this, especially visual stuff, because it's easier to, pick up. Just
Pictures worth 1,000 words. Yeah.
And then almost as if we're in this underwater,
environment. It almost seemed like it was like his own internal world, thoughts, etc.
Yeah. And he manifests.
Yeah.
This screaming Mahito. Who's in pain and gaining form, specific individual form.
Yep.
And then when he's done, he has this
his smile, voids for eyes.
I'm being called out to play, basically.
Right. And what blows me away is that,
and he's just suddenly here.
He's just suddenly there. But he was already in the theater.
But he was already in the theater. Exactly.
So
I'm so confused. Is this a thing
because this is okay.
There's probably 2 layers to this.
So there's probably a couple.
He's physically there.
Right. But there's a good chance that Yoshino came here specifically because these guys were going to be here and he just hated them and he was following them for some reason, or I don't know, who knows, right? Or it could have been a coincidence. But if if Mahito came here on his own, without necessarily intending to kill these kids that were going to be here or anything like that.
It is Yoshino, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then that's curious because that's an example of him kind of exploring his humanity by going and seeing a human-made piece of art.
Right. Yeah.
There's no other obvious reason for him to be here. It's not like there were even very many people here for him to kill, right?
Now,
like,
yeah, now there is something that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was very closely trying to pay attention to the movie because once I realized what the movie was about, I actually stopped caring about what the dumb 3-4 high schoolers, the high schooler boys were saying. Because the movie was about, in some ways, like a Dr. Frankenstein kind of thing.
Right, now to create the perfect human being.
Yeah, and they were debating about where the soul resides in a human. So there's a potential thing that this is actually Mahito's favorite movie.
Sure.
And it's not that he comes to this movie arbitrarily, but maybe this was just a fun coincidence that he came here when Yoshino was also here. But it was, no, I like this movie specifically.
Yeah, and I gotta say, as far as things that I personally love whenever like villains or antagonistic figures, well, no, specifically more of the villain archetypes, do this, is appreciating art. Because like if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then seeing how someone responds to an evocative piece of imagery or something like that, that's a story in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
So and it's also something where it's oftentimes we'll go to art as a way to try and make sense of life. Right?
All right, use it as a comparison point.
Yeah, exactly. A way to explore our own psyche and how we relate to the world and things like that.
Just enough misdirection.
Right, yeah, exactly. Just enough misdirection. So by having a villain enjoy art in whatever way they do, and because we don't see inside his head, we don't know. We just have to ask the question. Or the question is asked of us, right? Yeah. Of what he gets out of this, but he clearly gets something out of it.
Now,
that gets very curious.
It gets very curious. I want to operate on a second form here, is that we were told a lot of things out of order in this episode in terms of like getting like, it's this time on Monday, now it's this time on Monday, now it's this time on Monday, and kind of jumping around back and forth. One of the things that feels a little bit odd here is that what if it's not that he actually went to this theater, but we're dealing with a being that is far beyond individual localization.
Okay.
An aspect of him incarnated because of the amounts of hatred coming from Yoshino reached a certain peak, and he was like, oh, I'm here. Who needs to die? Well,
all right, I like that.
And he's not even necessarily that on a literal level, because he's a human.
Right.
But what if
we saw his form walk into the theater?
Right, but what if that form we saw there, and this is just a theory, was actually just there just because the hatred was already in Yoshino and it's following him.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's just waiting for him to have that moment.
Right. He hadn't been able to actually. It was taking so long to actually purchase the tickets, but you know he still had that hatred for those guys.
Yeah.
Because there's a very good chance that he knew that they were going to be there. Right. It could just be a coincidence, and it seemed like that was a while later from the time that they
bullied him,
beat him up and stuff.
Yeah. I was more bringing about the idea that he's following Yoshino. It has nothing to do with the bullies.
Oh, sure.
Because Yoshino's the one with the hatred right now.
Right, yeah.
So it's more of him being like, oh, the way my power works is that I reveal the hatred that they have for others etched into the focus of their hatred, and I deform and destroy them in a way to bring about the ugly aspects of that hatred, and then they can see it. Yep. See what your hatred wrought. Here it is. Do you actually wish this, for human beings?
Right.
And then as a human being himself, on some level, he understands that. So it's a thing that he also relishes in a little bit. I really love the idea that he's trying to compare himself to the three, elemental type curses. I'm calling them elemental because they're related to forest, ocean, and earth.
Right.
But you say
not directly elements.
Not directly, but you just get that's shorthand for understanding what I'm talking about here. But he kind of was like, I'm almost like them, but I'm like specifically for the relationship between humans and humans, not humans and objects, or humans and environments.
And if you were to like, because okay, when Jogo was introduced, I was like, who is this dopey looking motherfucker, right? Like okay, he's apparently really powerful, cool, and his fight with Gojo was visually stunning, right? You know, all right, cool. But I wasn't really taking him all that seriously because, you know, his design isn't cool enough for him to truly be super important to the plot, right? Like if Gojo looks super cool and is therefore super important to the plot,
you don't look like a 20-something young man.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. You couldn't be in a boy band, so you know
you don't have a longevity.
Right, exactly.
Sorry, that's how it be in stories like this.
Yes,
yeah.
But Mahito, well, I mean, Mahito totally could be. And
he's got staying power.
And the fact that Jogo was kind of the way to introduce this concept of like these super curses that sort of are the consummate personification of some aspect of humanity's fear.
Humanity's fear, yeah.
Like, or just negative emotions in general. Then, yeah, having your super crazy, like, one that shows up that is, no. I'm humanity's negative emotions towards humans. That I don't see how anything could top that as far as like
not really
an actual curse thing, whatever, that is born out of the collective consciousness and negative emotions of humans.
Exactly.
Like maybe from something else.
And that's why I don't think he's exactly that. I think that's why he's watching this movie. Is that in some ways he feels the fact that he was created. Like,
and he could have been created without intent from people.
Totally.
But yeah.
But I would okay, if because of the other ones not necessarily being human, I would think that Mahito would seek out aspects of what makes humans human, and look for identity, look for meaning, purpose.
Oh wait,
family connections, all these things.
Yeah, totally. Crazy idea as far as maybe the mechanical reasons for it. Since he cannot be seen by regular humans, and hence why he was surprised that he could be seen, maybe the fact that he sees himself as human is because he is born of hatred of humans towards humans. So since the other, like Jogo took on the form of a volcano, he's representative of the earth, then naturally, since the hatred is all surrounding humans, he then takes on the form of a human. So then it's something where he's basically saying, this is who I truly am. So now I'm seeking to understand myself because I believe this is a part of who I am. So then he watches films and things like that and reads books and all of that to try and grow, basically.
Yeah, I would say that makes a lot of sense, yeah. And then last thing, just Yoshino as a character.
Very excited.
Yeah. I really want to see... This is a classic archetype, I would say, for shonens. You need to have wholesome, adorable, young character that is a bit lost in the world, and the main character can kind of sweep them up and claim them. It's like an extrovert claiming an introvert, you know?
Sure.
It's just like, now you are my friend now.
It's the nega of the main character where the main character had like a relatively good environment, even if they had some tragic backstory or whatever, and they were able to handle it pretty well. But someone else wasn't. And the idea that, maybe main character, if your environment had been different, you might have actually turned out like this person. Right. So now let's see if you can help them, you know?
Yeah. So let's get these two into the same room as fast as possible.
Yep. And hopefully hopefully while our good friend Nanami is still alive.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.